Okay, the tragedy occurred, took place, and now it's the aftermath. We go to page 38. Don't worry, I'm not, no, it is 32. Yeah, 32. I'm not going to read the whole book, but I just want to give you a sense of the various narrative techniques that are employed so that um, you can approach them with confidence. We are at chapter 3, page 32. This is what happens after the funeral. Women are gathered around Annunziata's home, and again, you don't know who is saying what, and you don't even have entire sentences here, just bits and pieces. It's the common wisdom, the cliches, the kind of things that everybody says in these kind of circumstances, and you will see the way Di Pietro renders them. Bear, Annunziata, bear. One door and opens another, meaning God closes one door and opens another. Everybody knows what the rest of the sentence is. There is no need to put the whole thing there. It could be a voice that comes from the back and all you hear is a chunk of it. Dear mother, what can I do to awaken you softly? So rock, dear mother, rock. Lord needed him, sees all, and knows best. Dear mother, what are they saying? Also died for us. This is like Jesus died for us. Dear mother, is not all this a wrong story? Prayer and giants will. And gone were the mourners. Their breasts and knotted hands were called for in another home worlds. Were called for in other warm worlds. Funeral was over and night floated down upon tenement. They had to go. They could not stay forever. Quiet, quiet. Garish sickness of sweating yellow narrow kitchen walls in the slowly dying gaslight. Quiet my heart, and the music sings that drifts my senses and drains my blood. My children weep, weep for I know not how, for I know not now. Okay. Bear, Annunziata, bear. One door and opens another, which means God closes one door and opens another. It could be a word from the back of the room, just a chunk that is heard, but everybody knows the meaning of it. Dear mother, what can I do to awaken you softly? So rock, dear mother, rock. Lord needed him, sees all, and knows best. Dear mother, what are they saying? Also died for us. Dear mother, is not all this a wrong story? Prayer and giants will, and gone were the mourners. Their breasts and knotted hands were called for in other home worlds. Funeral was over, and night floated down upon tenement. They had to go. They could not stay forever. Quiet, quiet, garish sickness of sweating yellow, narrow kitchen walls in the slowly dying gaslight. Quiet my heart, and a music sings that drifts my senses and drains my blood. My children, weep. Weep, for I know not how. Weep, for you have cause. Weep, for our light is cold. Quiet, quiet, and she rocks. And the children sleep in tired lump. Quiet, and worlds rush past. His life holds me fast. Quiet, and he I cannot embrace. Fast, fast, faster. Jeremio. Paul jumped up. Mama, Mama, sit down. This, the character is not named is Paul, the son of Jeremiah, who will eventually take on the responsibility of caring for the family. So, in the initial dialogue, when you see "Dear Mother," what are they saying? That these are his thoughts as he hears the mourners, the people who were gathering after the funeral, uttering their sentences, their cliches. I'm going to read the paragraph now. This is not necessarily for the stylistic purpose, but just because I think it is one of the most profound insight that Di Donato has about pain, grief, the process of mourning, the dynamics that take place in the human soul, particularly the case of a family such as that of Geremia and Annunziata, when the breadwinner dies and they're left without help, um, in a state of despair, basically. It's at the bottom of page 41. It starts with, yes, the friends. And we are going to go into the next page for about 2 or 3 lines. So I'm going to start page 41. Yes, the friends and neighbors have come to pay witness to my position. This is Annunziata thinking. These are her thoughts. And to my ears is brought my new name, the widow Annunziata. For from my home has been shorn its main wall, and upon this my children shall rain every heat and cold. They only, their only covering um, to be the indelible stigma, the fatherless. Start over. Yes, the friends and neighbors have. This is start over. In this paragraph, Annunziata is thinking. The people have left. She is there by herself with her children, and she is slowly becoming aware of her situation of desperation, obviously. Yes, the friends and neighbors have come to pay witness to my position, and to my ears is brought my new name, the widow, the widow Annunziata. For from my home has been shorn its main wall, and upon these my children shall rain every heat and cold, their only covering to be the indelible stigma, the fatherless. Already we are left alone and avoided, for we have nothing to give except our need. And day and night have changed semblance, and are as white and black towers that besiege us in turn. For the walls who destroyed the father of his own lie as the earth upon me and mine, and must ever by us be home. Okay, pretty heavy stuff. Let's go to an example. Okay, after this sequence of tragedies, there is one additional tragedy. Annunziata's brother, uh, Z. Luigi, which means Uncle Luigi, spelled C-I to render phonetically the C. Luigi, Z. Luigi, that is Italian. He also has an accident. As he mumbles through his head, he's wondering how he's going to support uh, this large family that now has fallen onto his shoulders. He has no alternative. That's the way things were back then. And uh, he is taken to a hospital in a state of shock and trauma. And this is a dream. This is a nightmare that he has. And again, you will see the technique of the stream of consciousness, the flow, no punctuation. It's kind of hard to read, to do an impromptu reading as I'm trying to do now. So I will just only read a few sentences, trying to go slow so that I can pick up the rhythm and try to give a sense to it. The words individually will give a sense. There is really no meaning to it. You can understand cumulatively what the state of mind is, but again, you don't have, you're not here to extract um, information about the text. It's rather a rendering of the turmoil that is taking place in his unconscious mind. Luigi finds himself down in the foundation pit. The men are working. He does not know them all. When did the whistle blow, and why isn't with them as he looks here? there is in the shed near the crane on the stones under the machine between the timbers. And he cannot find his pick, and he knows the foreman blue shirt is watching him, but he makes believe that he, Luigi, doesn't see him and that he's on an important singular mission, and he tries to and he tries to hem and cough like someone else until he finds his pick. And when he approaches the men, they look at him sideways, and as he recognizes them and wants to smile, greeting, they lower their eyes and turn away as though they don't know him, and there is no noise, and they work stiffly like quiet zombies in a spell, and the foreman's eyes are big, black, angry spots under the lid of his felt that has always staring at him, had always staring at him, and he puts his head down and wants to do something, and so forth. He's in a hospital, and page 49, at the very end, we have this separate paragraph. He wakes up from his coma, trauma, whatever you call it. People are coming to visit him. I think it's Paul and probably Paul. And here it is. There, there, Luigi. No one will hurt you. No one will hurt you. You must not try to move your legs. Did you know? Did you have a bad dream? Nurse, I know speak. I know cannot speak. Here's the last paragraph. Um, People come to visit him, most likely it's Paul or the nurse, and he wakes up from his trauma, his coma, whatever it is. There, there, Luigi. No one will hurt you. No one will hurt you. You must not try to move your legs. Did you have bad dream? Nurse, I no speak. I no cannot speak. We go now to page 46 at the bottom, and I want to give you a sense of a different use of language and writing technique. Uh, Here, he reproduces the rhythm, the sound, the energy of the workplace. It is done particularly by the quality of language, the sound, uh, selecting particular sounds in order to render um, both, as I said, the rhythm and also the physical impression of being on the workplace. We go from compression, and again, I'm going to try to read it on an impromptu basis, so there may be some hesitation on my part. Uh, Trying to make sense of it would require reading it and reading it over. But the important thing is to get the sense and the message. The message that he conveys is the reproduction of this external reality. Compression engines snort viciously. Sledge heads punch sinking spikes. Steel drills bite shattering jazz in stony stone, excitedly jarring, clinging. Hand dust, swirling bells, clinging insistent, aggravated warning. Severe bony iron cranes swivel, swing that heavy rock high, clattering, dump vibrating concussion, swiftly absorbed echo, reverberating scoops, bowling horns in rock pile, chuck, chug, shish, chug, chung, aloft. Hiss, roar, dynamite, boom, doom, loosening petrified bowels. 100 hands fighting rock. 50 spines derricking, swiveling. 50 faces in set mask, chopping stone into bread. 50 hearts interpreting labor, hurling oneself down, and in at hurt planting pod footed job. With April morning breaking down in slanting rain, and up Luigi's pick, 10 into 24, considering first the food for the children, down shivering hard in wall's boulder's crevice, up, pick down, into slowly dislodging boulder from wall, 24 parted by 10, up, pick, but We shall manage with strength, down pick hard, miss aim, slide slippery boots in puddle, down Luigi, down swiftly certain stone. But my legs, with April's a rain and 10 not into 24. This is actually immediately before Luigi's accident when he has the responsibility of feeding now Jeremiah's family, and he's obsessed with calculating in his mind how he's going to make it with the little money that he makes. So this 10 into 24 uh, is the calculation. How is he going to divide the meager salary that he gets into whatever amount of unit, or whatever units, is it days or I don't know. But he is obsessed with his thought, his responsibility. He is at work, and then here is the description of the workplace, the rhythm, the cadence, and then very briefly, in very few um, fragments of sentence, the nature of the accident. He's trying to take a boulder out of the wall. He misses with a pick. He slips. The boulder falls, crushing his legs, and he's done. Okay. I now want to give you an example of Di Donato's mastery of the writing skill. This is a very straightforward passage. There is nothing complicated or avant-garde, experimental about it. It's the description of a new job site that Paul goes to downtown. When he switches jobs, he goes from being a bricklayer to a construction worker, I think, on a high rise that uses a much more modern building technique, steel and so forth. And I was mesmerized by this piece because it is so incredibly hard to describe a sequence of events of this nature with such precision, maintaining a rhythm and without becoming repetitive or switching, going into metaphors and so forth. It's page 170, chapter 9 of the the book called Fiesta. Fiesta is the section of the novel. It starts with Big Steel, page 170. Big Steel was downtown. It straddled the city block, and its metal skeleton shot up 50 floors to the sky. At street level was a 10-foot wooden fence, and protecting the street people was a thick timbered bridge that reached to the first floor. Trucks pulled in and out as of its entrance, loaded with sand, cement, lime, brick, stone, lumber, pipes, and steel. Laborers stood about in groups seeking to enter and ask for work. High up were iron workers walking the thin girders, and Paul afraid to watch them. At about the 20th floor were concrete workers pushing the heavy big-wheeled buggies from the hoists and dumping the fresh concrete into the floor forms. Above them, the scaffold hangers were fastening the protruding I-beams from which other scaffolders hung the swinging scaffolds for the bricklayers. From the very peak, the 100-foot derrick swung in steel latticed arm out beyond the building, and from it descended a cable with an iron worker clinging to it. The man was small, and grown larger as he came toward the ground. When he reached the street, two other iron workers fastened the cable about a 5-ton girder. Soon the great steel body and the iron worker upon it were rising slowly up, the girder seesawing as a ship on rolling water, and the sure-footed iron worker captaining captaining it up through space. Paul's breast prided for him. Far up in the bone-work of job, he saw the riveting crew. A rickety scaffolding held the little forge where the smith fired his bolts. He drew them white-hot, passed them to the thrower, who sent them bulleting up to the catcher on his precarious rope-plank scaffold, who snared them neatly in his tin cone, and then with pincers inserted them into the bolt holes that matched in the beams to be mated fast by his partner, who pushed his compressor gun upon the hot bolt's unheaded end, and while the sledgeman resisted from the other end of the bolt, the furious rat-tat-tat-tat-tat smashed the malleable hot pin into locked steel home. Wow. Yeah, he can write. Okay, I hope you will enjoy the book. And please, please, please take your time, read it slowly. Don't obsess about the details. Don't worry about who's saying what. Catch the rhythm of the sentences, get the sense. The action is fairly easy to comprehend. There is no mystery here. Everything is revealed. And try to select, indeed, do select your most favorite quote. Mine, I think I gave it away, is when Annunziata says, "We have nothing to give but our need." There is another one that I use on the homepage of my website at Brooklyn College, and it has to do with greed and profit, which is one of the elements, obviously, that this book ultimately addresses. But that's not the only point. So look for your own favorite quote